Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today I wanted to talk about chaos gardening. I live in Utah Zone 6/7, and I am a very organized gardener. Now, I was watching a few videos on YouTube the other day, and it seems like the new term is chaos gardening. And my very first reaction was that is definitely something I would not want to do on my property. I am a very organized person. I like things to be neat and tidy and organized. So let's go through my property and see what I really actually think about chaos gardening. Now, you may see a little bit of wind damage. My last video was kind of showing the wind damage that we had. So you will see a few things toppled over. But if you look at my property, there's some overriding themes. We've got color, we've got texture that is repeated. I'm a landscape designer, and I love to use the landscape design principles. So one color and texture that I repeat is my Autumn Jubilee 9-bark and the blue spruces. Let's go show you where that's repeated on the other side. Right here, we've got another Autumn Jubilee 9-bark and my blue spruce. Now that is kind of like the end caps for my property, ties it all together. We've got a hardy hibiscus right here. Got another purple one right here. Hardy hibiscus are very late to come out of the ground in my area. They start growing near the beginning of June, and then by August they start flowering. So this is a 2-year-old plant, but it's got that beautiful purple leaf color and pink blossoms. Then on the other side of my property, we've got another purple-leafed hardy hibiscus with pink blossoms, so that ties that together. I've got some plant combinations that I love together that I repeat. We've got a switchgrass in the back that turns red in the fall. I did cut back my 9-bark. This is a Little Devil 9-bark, but I love the foliage color. So we've got the Little Devil 9-barks and the Glow Girl Spirea, and that is repeated. Let's go show you where that's repeated. And that's repeated on this side of my property. Now, I did tear out my Russelbrush switchgrass, and I've switched it out with a Shenandoah switchgrass. So this little switchgrass is a brand new little plant, but it'll get as big as the other one, and it'll have the same fall color as the other one. So we have that repeated. Then I like to harmonize the colors. My favorite colors are the blues, purples, oranges, and yellows together. We've got the catmint, lavender, yarrow. The orange in there is pine leaf penstemon. And then we've got the little yellow down here, which is the sundancer daisy. And that's repeated over here. We've got the lavender over here with the blue. Another blue that's going to come into play here shortly is the it's the Pugster butterfly bush. This is called Blue, is its name. It's Pugster butterfly bush blue. So that'll also bring in the blue color. Got another catmint over here. And then we've got the moonshine yarrow that's a little bit later to bloom. This side is a little bit later to bloom than the other side, but the moonshine yarrow is also on this side. And then we've got some little sundancer daisies and some little tiny pine leaf penstemon. So that to me just kind of brings balance into my landscape. You know, we don't exactly mirror everything exactly, but we do mirror a lot, and it kind of helps you flow through the landscape. Now, another thing that I've done is this center section right in here is, I don't know if you can tell, but it is divided in the middle, and each side is almost exactly like the other side. So we've got the strawberries down the front. Those are for the neighborhood kids to eat. And because I love strawberries, they also add a beautiful red pop of color in the fall. We've got the lavender and the sundancer daisies. Lavender's a little further back up there, but we've got lavender and sundancer daisies. We've got another favorite combination that I repeat on the other side. We've got sedum, blue fescue, foxley thyme, and my purple tall sedum. I love that combination. That combination is absolutely repeated over here. We've got the Angelina sedum, the purple sedum, the blue fescue, and then the foxley thyme is moved over here. Then if you look at the groups of threes and twos, right here we've got the partridge feather with my mountain mist pom-pom dianthus in the center. So those are in the center. got 3 fire chalice or zauschneria. We've got 3 of the blue oak grass. We've got 2 those little blue flowers in the center over here. These are absolutely gorgeous. These are platinum sage. We've got another purple sedum in the center. In the center here we've got a Karsten's Gold Mugo Pine, which is going to be an evergreen yellow color in the fall and winter, which will be gorgeous. Then we've got 2 drops of Jupiter oregano, and we've got the exact same irises in the back, and then we've got the same trees flanking each other. We've got 2 almonds. The back, the little tiny shrubs in the back, those are aronias. We've got a pawpaw, and I am so set on having another pawpaw over here. This is the 7th try. This is a seedling from this pawpaw over here, and I think this one is finally going to work. So as you can see, my front yard is very organized, very clean and tidy. I don't let a lot of things self-seed. So let's go see if we can find any chaos that I've gardened purposefully. Now, if you don't know what chaos gardening is just taking seeds, letting them drop where they want, either purposefully by hand or by reseeding themselves, and just letting them grow where they want. So the first thing that I notice is I never weed out my Johnny jump ups. I let them fall where they may and grow where they want. We've even got a little calendula right here. Let's go look at the other side. I did pull out because they've dried up. It's gotten too hot for them, but I had a ton of Johnny jump ups that reseeded themselves here. We have some here that I'm allowing to reseed themselves. And they've reseeded themselves here. They're about ready to be pulled out, but I must be a chaos gardener because I'm going to let those babies drop seeds and plant themselves wherever they want. Most of the flowers in here, all of the calendulas and all of the nasturtiums and all the Johnny jump ups are chaos sowed. They just fell where they might. And I couldn't get any of my zinnias to grow, so I just threw a bunch of seeds back there to see what would happen, and I've got several coming up. Now back here is where I discovered I was actually a chaos gardener. As I was thinking about chaos gardening and how stupid it sounded and why I would not do that in my property, I was actually looking at this area. Let's see what I do here. There seems to be a lot of chaos, purposeful and otherwise. All of the calendulas have been chaos sowed since 2008. I planted one in a bed, in one of these garden beds. Let it self-seed, and everything you see here has been self-seeded since then. So I let them drop, and I actually purposefully water them to make sure that they come back and let them drop seeds every single year. My borage is chaos gardened. All the borage here, self-seeded. I do weed it out of my garden beds and just let it grow in this soil. Now, chaos gardening has taught me a few things. Number one, the soil down here is between my garden beds. I will hand water parts, but most of the time I don't. You can see the parts that were hand watered, the parts that aren't, and there are so many things that are still persistent. If there is any water at all, they'll seek it out and try to grow. We've got dill that chaos sows itself everywhere, and I let that dill grow and I encourage it. That's how I get my dill. So we've got borage, calendula, dill. Let's see if we have anything else. A new one that I'm chaos gardening is my fennel. I let fennel go to seed here, not on purpose. I just liked the pollinators and then they didn't get it pulled out soon enough. And it's reseeded itself, and it's going to join the hordes of other things that self-sow in my garden area. I've got more dill in an area where it doesn't really actually get any water. The Maynite salvia, and I'll show you some that are still in bloom. I allow them to chaos sow themselves everywhere. One that I used to chaos sow and allow to grow, but I don't anymore, is the Mexican feathergrass. Now, Mexican feathergrass can be invasive in certain areas. It does not self-sow readily in my garden beds where I add water and where I mulch a lot. But in this area, where I have really poor soil, sandy soil that doesn't get a lot of water, it reseeds itself with abandon. And I've actually started pulling it out because it's become such a problem. And then I remove the seed heads. This is what the seed heads look like. I remove them as soon as possible. Another thing that I don't allow to self-sow themselves that I've got to get out of here really quick are my chives. Chives reseed themselves readily, almost as readily as the feather reed grass, and they're almost impossible to pull because they form bulbs really quickly and you can't just pull them out of the hard, dry dirt around here. And they grow very happily in that hard, dry dirt. Another thing that I used to fight against are my sunflowers. These are wild sunflowers. They're the ones with just the single flower, you know, that grow wild in the hillsides. And if you let seeds set and fall to the ground with these, you will get thousands of them, literally thousands. And so I very carefully select. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to keep that one or this one. I carefully select one that I allow to grow each year, and then I cut off the heads before they set seed. And I still get them every year. I haven't let them set seed for years, and they still come back. Something else that I chaos garden are my lettuces. So I allow lettuce to self-sow. These are, I don't think I've planted purposefully lettuce up here in ages, but these have self-seeded themselves. I'm going to allow one of them to set seed. I've got another one down here that's setting seed, and I'll just let that set seed and see what happens down in this area. These are my Maynite salvia that I need to cut back so they don't reseed themselves too much. The dill that reseeds itself in my garden beds are the ones that I harvest, you know, because they grow big and beautiful, and you actually get the flowers and the seed heads. I use these for pickles, and I harvest the leaves and dehydrate the leaves. Another one that I allow to self-sow anywhere and anytime it wants are my coriander. Now, coriander is cilantro. I don't like the leaves of cilantro, but what I do love are these little seeds. So it looks like these got blown over in my windstorm, and I'll link that video up above, like I said. But these seeds are what I grow it for. The flowers, because the pollinators absolutely love the flowers, and the seeds. I let it reseed itself, and then I use the coriander in cooking. Here we've got a large patch of dill that's reseeded itself everywhere. And we'll just harvest whatever seed heads we get. Another one that I allow to self-sow itself, and sometimes I'll even take these seeds and scatter them around the garden area. This is arugula that overwintered. So I had this over the winter. It's slowly dying down. We've got some seed pods that are pretty much ready, almost. So this is a seed pod. Still a little green. But when you open it up, you've got a ton of seeds in there. This one's not quite ready. But we'll just let this dry down and reseed itself and let it reseed itself everywhere. It also brings in all the pollinators. Another one that I allow to self-sow with abandon is my parsley. Now this has been really interesting to me. So I planted one parsley plant quite a while ago, several years ago, and it was a flat-leaf parsley. So right here we have a flat-leaf parsley, and as it's continued to grow and reseed itself everywhere over the years, we now have some curly-leaf parsley. But I'm allowing the curly-leaf parsley over here and the flat-leaf parsley to reseed itself. It's a biennial. So this year is the year that they reseed themselves. Next year we'll just have a sea of parsley again. I do try to thin it out quite a bit. I probably should come in here and only allow two of these, one flat leaf and one curly leaf, to reseed. But the pollinators love the flowers, so I'll wait until they dry down a little bit before I pull the other ones out. And then toss them in the garbage so we don't get too many. And this is an area of true chaos gardening right through here, and I absolutely love it. So okay, I admit, even though I was thinking chaos gardening was dumb at the beginning, I must be dumb because I'm a chaos gardener. But this is my compost pile. I throw everything in here. And then anything that wants to reseed itself, because a lot of this compost ends up over here, we do have a spray head in the compost pile right there that waters it. So it waters this area. You can tell the area that gets watered. Everything else is dry. I just let grow. So we've got Lovage. This is self-seeded. We've got Yarrow. We've got lime balm and lemon balm and catmint. This one is a purposefully planted one that I'm going to purposefully allow to self-sow. This is Sweet Sicily that I got from a friend. We've got Borage. Got black-eyed Susans down there. Got some sweet alyssum that may or may not end up flowering. We've got some wild mint. It's just a wild abandon of a lot of fun things. Another one that I'm going to see if I can get to naturalize in this area is my wood betony over there. I think my next herb video is going to be about wood betony. And the last one that I've allowed to successfully grow with almost abandon, I do try to weed out some of them, and I have them all over the property, are these Anise Hyssop. Now I did plant Anise Hyssop in my garden many, many years ago and allowed it to just self-seed itself over and over and over. It's a tender perennial here. These plants will last a couple of years, but then they reseed themselves and bring new plants up. Now, my Anise Hyssop had disappeared. I think it disappeared for like 5 years. And then when I built this food forest down here, this all used to be grass. All of a sudden, once again, I got Anise Hyssop. And this is where they've ended up, and we have several popping up all over in this area. So Anise Hyssop is one that will also self-seed way too much, so I do try to cut back most of it before it sets seed and just allow one or two to self-sow themselves where I want them. Okay, I guess another one that I don't know if this is counted as chaos gardening, but I love having strawberries in my landscape. I rarely plant them in beds. They don't do as well in my garden beds as they do in the landscape. But I allow themselves just to spread wherever they want. And so you can see the areas that I hand water. You know, there are certain areas that I am willing to hand water. The rest of this gets watered once a week. And whatever strawberries decide to grow there, I just allow to grow. And we've gotten excellent harvests off of these. So I guess we can look at this video as a confession of an organized, detailed gardener who loves order, who is also a chaos gardener. Now, I would love to hear if you chaos garden and what your thoughts are on it. Is it a trend that's going to eventually disappear, or is this something that is actually sustainable and good for your gardens? So hopefully this video has been helpful to you. If it has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.